You are into a life-transforming experience as Pastor Prince Abah brings you God's Word with deep insight and power. God bless you.
What is the biggest or the number one institution that God loves with all his life? Is the Church of Jesus that God loves. And he sent his only son to even die so that he can reap a family for himself. That family is called the Church of Jesus. And it's imperative and important to know, like I said, the ones who end up loving the Church of Jesus the way God loves it are the ones who become the dearest friend of God. You see, you can be going to church and not love the church. You can be inside a building and be having your church activities and still you don't love the Church of Jesus. It took God killing his son to get this thing. It's the blood of Jesus that gave birth to the church. If we can imagine what it took God to get this thing out, you can understand that this is what means everything to him. This is everything that matters to God. So, ask yourself, what matter to God matter to you? Because it will become the foundation for all that the Lord will do with you and all that you will see happen in life. It's a question I want you to answer for yourself. I want you to really think through it thoroughly and ask yourself, and also answer for yourself. Do I love the Lord? Do I love his church? And am I willing to give myself for the Church of Jesus the way God would give his son to reap the harvest of the church, which is his family? That is the ultimate question I believe every believer should start asking. Do I love God and do I love his church? You may not have asked that question before. Once you ask that question and tell yourself the truth, you will now change everything, and to change how you do everything that you do. It will change the extent you will go for him. It will change the commitment you will make for him. It will change the sacrifices you would also be willing to make for him. It is the love that is in the heart of a man that drives him to do what he does. It is the love that is in the heart of a person that steers him into doing things that literally he would not do. It is the love that is saturated in the heart of a person that will make him sacrifice, that will make him give up what is not convenient, or give up what is convenient and take up what is not convenient, so that the work of God can keep moving forward. In your journey as a Christian, you should begin to think of that sacrifice you will make, that act of love that you will demonstrate to prove to God and to prove to him, to his kingdom, and also prove to his son that you love him and you exceedingly love him. Because as a matter of fact, you have to journey with God in such a way that you can confidently and comfortably and proudly say to him, God, you know what I've done for you. You can't say that, forget it. You can confidently face God, face to face, and say, God, you know I died for you. You know what I did for your work. And it's not just saying that you know what I did. The marks will be there. The evidences will be there. The proofs will be there. People can see it. God too can see it, and he will say, yes, this guy. You too, you will feel it. You will know it. You will see it. The thing will tell on you. It will tell you, will know you have sacrificed for God. You will know it. There's no lying about it. The reason you can't respond to me is because you also know you've not done anything for him. What can you do for the man who gave his son to die on the cross, to bet this thing called church? What can you do? What can you do? What level of commitment? What level of dedication? What level of losing your life? What level of laying down your own life? What level of sacrifice will you put into what God loves so much to prove to him that, Lord, that thing you love, I love it with my life. I love it with my heart. I love it with everything that is within me. I did a small trip to Benue State. There was an issue. Something happened somewhere and my attention was called to it. And that thing became life-threatening in a way. So I was called on a Thursday. Service was ongoing. I was in the house coming for service and I got a phone call. And I was receiving all the information and I even came into service with my phone. And I said, don't worry. We'll see how we go about this. I came into the service, had a powerful service, and went home. Spoke with the people concerned and told them, look, I'll be coming next week Monday because of this situation. So on Monday, I was trying to service the vehicle and do some things. I couldn't move on Monday because of the time it took. So I took the whole Monday servicing the car. On Tuesday early morning, I alongside my driver and the policeman that escorted me, 2 policemen and men, we took off on our way to very distant place. This situation is not even like it's my personal thing or whatever. Drove the bad road, drove for more than 7 hours or so, got to the place. When I got in, they wanted to serve me food. I said, leave food, let's go and sort out this thing first. They said, we are wondering if this thing can be sorted though. The way that thing looks, it cannot be sorted. I said, don't worry, leave it for me. He said, you should drive your own car and lead me to the place. And we drove and we got there. Of course, the young man in question, I had spoken with him even before I started coming to tell him I'll come on Tuesday. So he came. And we sat on the round table like this. And I began to dissect the problem and began to provide solution to the problem. And I asked him for some things that ordinarily the party I came to even resolve the matter for doubted even before I came. There's no need coming, just leave it. He won't listen. This will not work, that will not work. I said, it will, don't worry. I'm the one talking, it will work, I'm coming. That trip took me more than $500,000. More than $500,000. Just fueling alone. Going and coming took me up to 300,000 for fuel alone. The thing is that same evening, within a space of less than 1 hour, I dismantled that problem, solved that problem. The people in question who were affected by that problem were already running high blood pressure. They were already afraid. In fact, one told me, that I didn't think I wasn't going to live beyond this week. I felt like life was leaving me. He said, what we have pleaded for, that fell on deaf ears, I would have ended in jail, ended here. You have just come in less than 1 hour, you have dismantled it. And the guy said, where does this wisdom come from? I dismantled the problem. The next day, got into the car and started coming back. What I went to do that cost me my health, cost me my time, cost me my money, was to go and solve a problem within less than 40 minutes or so. Because I knew I wouldn't have been able to solve that problem on the phone. I needed to be on ground, the way this matter is. The second person who was supposed to follow me, who is also part of the general family, that is, that one, he couldn't even join me. I said, are you not coming with me? He said, this one happened, they shoot bird, mama fly. That one happened. And my son is having a little health situation, so I'm trying to take care of him. I said, is he only your son? Don't I have other things that I need to give attention to? Now, when I was coming back, the kind of prayers that was offered on me, the kind of blessings that was poured on me, and there was one statement that was made. He said, this is what it means for somebody to have a son. Son is not that one etola. Son is that when you see the problem, someone helps you shoulder and carry. Like Isaiah said, upon his government, upon his shoulders shall the government be. The government shall be upon his shoulders. When you see that man who can carry the weight of his father, the weight of the kingdom, the weight of God, he can carry it on his shoulder, then God has found a son there. This thing is meant to kill this person. This thing is meant to destroy. But the guy comes in and carries it and says, don't ever disturb these people about this matter. I'm asking you for this time frame, put everything on me. And then you break everybody down. Everybody falls and starts crying like a baby. And it's not like the thing is even there. What I want to go and carry on my shoulder, it's not my business. It's not like it's there anywhere hiding. But I went, postpone that thing. Let this thing go as far as this time frame. Then after that time frame, get back to me. I'm the one who will carry this cross. Let me die. Let these ones live. It took the people I went to mediate for more than 20 minutes to respond. Because even before they started responding, you could feel the hunger for tears. They'll hold it. And pause for a little time. I was once saying, you don't need to say anything. Don't bother. And they held themselves. When they opened the mouth again to talk, the whole tears came out. I had to look for somewhere and hide my face and cried like a baby. Sonship is not one told my son is tall. My child has fat muscles. Sonship, part of the code of sonship is the sacrifice you can make. The price you pay to give your father rest. The price you pay. You don't know, let me tell you something. Do you know why most people are like vagabonds and are not successful? Let me tell you why. It's irresponsibility. It's irresponsibility. The problem that came to this Mr. A was the same problem that came to this Mr. B. Mr. A ignored it. Mr. B carried it. Watch Mr. A's ending, watch Mr. B's ending. They will be clearly different. The day I came back on my journey, Thursday, I went back home, straight home, took my bath, wore my clothes, drove back here. The guys were in service, said something in 1 minute, drove out again. I was going for another training, 3 days training, Thursday, Friday, the training ended today. It was even supposed to end this evening. I had to beg the people I was facilitating for. I said, can I compress the courses I have to do this evening into the morning and afternoon so I can come back and be with these guys? I've not slept. Since I took over, I've been sneezing. My whole, this thing is full of catarrh. I've been sneezing. I've not even slept. I've not had 1 minute of rest. In the course of training, the people I was training, if you see the kind of things that happen in that training, the people I was talking to are not small boys, so these are billionaires in the making. These are millionaires into real estate. There was even a lady amongst them who is also into real estate there. One young girl. That one was the one that scattered me. When I was done today, when I finished the training and I was about to bid them farewell, she said, sir, not yet. She ran inside her office and brought out gifts. And then picked mic and said, sir, please, I have to do this. It's on Facebook. You can go on my Facebook Live and watch it. It was recorded. He said, I have to do this. He said, never in my life have I sat in a training where I was amazed and wowed by how one man can have so much of knowledge. He's a millionaire. She's into real estate. He said, while you were teaching that 7 codes of prosperity, things that I have not even taught here were the things. If you follow that thing that I was teaching, you will know I have not taught them yet. There are places you go to, things that can't open where you are, opens there. Because the people who are around you don't even know your value. It's people far away that know the value you have. I will place a heavy price to get that gold within you. And most of the times, God blesses me the way He blesses me and gives me the kind of wisdom He gives me. Not because I'm the most hardworking person. It's because He has seen this heart of mine can do anything for the good of another. This heart of mine can go any length. This man here, I can tell you, even if you don't believe it, it can go any length. He can even lay his life down and die practically for the good of another person. Starting with God, because you can't lay your life for humanity until you can lay it for divinity. Until God, you can die for this God that you serve. Or you can't love human beings until you love God. So watch. The lady brought that gift and began to give vote of thanks. I taught her 7 codes of prosperity. That was why she stayed on. I mean, you know, courses I taught her, no? Me, what I do now is, even if I'm recording the thing video live, and I keep telling you guys, sometimes it's not you guys I have in mind. You should have me in mind. It's not even me having you guys in mind. What is Pastor doing now? And how can I learn from what he's doing? You should be the one chasing and looking for me. Where is he? What is he doing? What is he talking on now? Can I hook up and learn and be writing? So even when I do the live whatever, I share it or I ask them to share it. I will not bother anybody. You didn't watch that? Go and watch that. People who know the value are paying heavily for it. I won't even bother anybody. Lose the information. And as long as you can lose an information, you can lose your future. Lose knowledge. As long as you can lose knowledge, you can lose your tomorrow. No problem. I don't have a problem with that. You can be reckless around who can help you. I don't care. Let people who know what I'm saying, apply it. On the spot, that course I did on the 7 codes of prosperity. I think that was the second course I did, or third course, before I took a break and came back and concluded in the afternoon session. We did the 30 minutes break and then I concluded the afternoon session. That course I did when it was break time. That was the time the lady, I taught on 7 codes. The last code I taught was on gratitude. And I taught heavily on it. When I was done teaching gratitude, how gratitude works in the marketplace, gratitude between boss and employers, employer and employee, gratitude between a business firm and their clients, when I taught on the metrics and showed the formula of how you can use gratitude as a springboard to even be successful. When I finished teaching on it, immediately, it's not like we are saying tomorrow, the lady went out, spent money. I don't know who she said. Maybe she went out and bought gift for everyone in the class. And bought gift for me also. You need to see the gift she got me. So when I finished, she grabbed the mic. The last course, she grabbed the mic and said, "Sir, please, I need to do this. And I want to do it in your presence. First of all, I want to thank the person who gave me access to this meeting. The person who is the brainchild to organizing this. I want to thank him. I had to go and buy gifts to give the person, to give this one, and sir, to also thank you." If you watch the video, you see at that point I became emotional. Because what attracts me to a person is not your beauty. It's not your handsomeness. It's your value. It's your virtue. If I see love, if I see gratitude, if I see a person can lay his life down, okay, let me even say, if I see struggle, this guy is struggling. This guy is struggling to feed. This guy is struggling to feed. He doesn't even have a house. It's even one clothes he has. Yet this person lays down everything. I will fall in love with you that you will be looking for how to run away from my love. If I see pride, I don't care about him. If I see arrogance, I don't see meekness. I don't see loyalty. I don't see the extent you can follow constantly. That you can personalize the vision of God and run it. Whether it's convenient or not convenient, you are there, willing to die. If I don't see that trait, there's nothing anybody does around me that gets me. If you are off and on, it's like I'm traveling tomorrow now. You think I'll be busy? My eyes are here. I may not call you and ask and say, why are you not available? Why are you not around? My eyes will be watching. My ears will be on ground. I'll be looking and I may not call you. But I'll be getting feedback. But the thing is that at the end of the day, the blessing of God is without repentance. When God decides to bless a man who has shown himself faithful and who has shown himself trustworthy, who has shown himself kind to him. You know, you can be kind to God. You can also be wicked to God. A person who has shown himself, Father, there's nothing again that I have. It's you that I have, and I'm ready to die for you. I'm ready to give my all for you. I'm ready to sacrifice anything that it is to see that your work does not suffer. That man with that kind of life is the one that God can bless irrevocably. The blessing of God will abound on the man, will rest on the man, and that man will never be in want of anything. Hello, somebody. It's important you start accessing this thing. Do I really love God? Do I really love His church? Do I also love His servant? That man that He puts as a watcher over me, that man He puts as a leader over me, that man He gave me as my pastor. Do I even love him? Do I love his vision? When he's around, what do I do to prove that I love him? When he's not around, what do I do to prove that I love him? My father in the Lord visited us for the first time in Abah here in 2018. And then I wasn't married then. So when he began to speak, he said that he noticed I'm not yet married. He knows, but that the next visit is coming, maybe next year, which was 2019, that it was going to be for my wedding. So he now mentioned how he got his wife. He said, because every man needs to find a wife, especially a minister of the gospel, a priest of God. So every minister needs to find. And the kind of woman that a priest needs to marry is not just that woman that satisfies fleshly needs, but the woman that satisfies priestly needs. Priestly needs. So he now gave a secret of how he found his wife. He said there was one lady he liked and he liked and he liked the woman. He said then he was still in Enugu. So this lady moved to Lagos. She was serving there and all that. This lady, he was so in love with the girl. And the girl too liked him. So he now began to ask this girl at a point in time, can you at least start a branch of our church there in Lagos where you are? Let's have something there. And the girl would not do anything. Anyway, after a while, another person went there and started the work. The lady even told to start, I refused to start. Somebody has gone to start the work. She will not even go there to help, at least support the work, at least attend service. At least the part of the department, help the man, you are working there, help the man with small stipends to help him to do one or two things. If it's fuel for gem, buy. If it's church rent, pay. Whatever it is you can do, help that church. And it's a new work, a young church that is trying to gain footing in the city. Help the work. If it is souls, you can win souls. Let the house be populated. So the lady will not go to church. She will stay there. But you know what the lady would do? Anytime my pastor is coming to Lagos for a program or he's in Lagos and then he's going to visit the church here in Lagos, the lady will now go and attend because pastor is coming. He will go and attend. You know there are members like that who only appear because the set man is around. Once the set man is not there, nobody comes. There are people who come for a meeting because they hear, pastor said you should come. If pastor is not there and they say, we are having a meeting, today is midweek, today is workers meeting, today is Sunday, they won't appear. The question they always ask, is pastor around? He's not around. I'm not going. But we don't know that when to prove that you truly love that man, you appear before when he's around, is when he's not around. That's when to prove. Your pastor does not know you love him in his presence. He knows you love him in his absence. It's not his availability, it's not his presence that is a yardstick for measuring that you love him. It's when he's not even there. It's that thing you do when he's not there that tells. That is the real you, that's the real you. Eye service is very hard to decode in the presence of a man. But eye service becomes very easy to decode in his absence. So when your leader is around and you are running helter-skelter and doing things, it's because his watchful eyes are on you. What if the man is not there? You now recline and go back and start doing what you were doing because he's no longer watching. That is the best time to tell this guy has been a hypocrite all this while. It's not even a sin. That lady has been a hypocrite. For me, it's not hard to discover it. That's how I get to know people. So my pastor would go and the lady will appear. When he leaves back to his city, the lady will disappear again. So he knew that's not the lady. That's not the lady. But there was one other lady who was using her money to finance missions, finance evangelism. She was working with Central Bank of Nigeria at the time. She had just finished her youth service and got that job. And she was using all the money to finance ministry. As a matter of fact, when the church was about to take off in Enugu City, they were in UNN those days on the camp. So, that lady working in CBN would use her money, finance the gospel, pay for bills, pay for things and all that. She used to be a student of UNN in Suka those days with my pastor who was also a student in UNN. Do you know even when they were leaving UNN and coming to Enugu to start church in the city, that same lady had to talk with her mother, who was not even a member of the church, to lend their parlor so they could start the church there. It was from the parlor that whole ministry, that whole Dominion City ministry started, in the parlor of that woman. And that woman is the one who today is the mother-in-law of the founder of the church. The lady who was doing all that thing finally became the wife of that man. Yes, she didn't know. She was just doing her things. Some of you don't know who will find you on your duty post, and you can be it. Let me give you an example. There's a guy called Boaz, who was the richest man in his city. A certain lady called Naomi. Let's read it. Because that kind of issue, what solves it? What solves that issue is a heart of love and a heart of sacrifice. That battery thing, it doesn't take anything to buy a whole pack of it and drop there. And it's not just for the guy there, it's even for you. Do you know why Paul prayed for the Philippian church and said to them, my God will supply all needs according to your riches in glory? Paul prayed a prayer from his heart for those guys because he saw that these guys were giving to it. Go and read it. You will see what Paul said, that in matters of giving, no other church ministered to me with their substance except you guys. I've seen again and again how you guys don't have money, but you have always given, you have always sent me things. Even when I didn't ask of it, you are the ones that check up on me. It's not because I need a gift from you, but I just desire fruits that are bound to your account. He said, now because of these things, my God shall supply all your needs. That means these guys were in need and they were still giving. That is not just that thing you pray and confess, my God shall supply. It's not a confessional prayer. It's a prayer somebody prayed for a church that met certain responsibility, that met certain criteria, that did certain things. You start testing your heart by seeing how you respond to issues. Me, I respond to problems like the one I travel to go and solve ministry. If you see how much it cost me to go and come back, you see that extent of response. You use battery, just battery cell. You notice the thing broke down. Why on your own just decide this rubbish can happen again? My pastor cannot sit down here, my angel, and hold microphone, and battery will just die. What an embarrassment to God and to my Father. You see that kind of heart? God sees it. God says, this guy, you can trust him. Put anointing on him. Put grace on him. God doesn't know how you respond to him. He watches how you respond to men, to your physical leaders, the person that he put as your, he watches your response to him, and then he can tell whether you truly love him. Hello, somebody? Start testing the quality of your heart. Whether your heart is truly in the right shape by how you respond. If it doesn't move you, it doesn't touch you, you just sit down there, just waiting for them to do whatever they want to do. But you can't ask, what went wrong? Is it battery? How much is battery? Can I be buying it steadily? And not because you just want to do something. The thing touched your heart. From a genuine heart, you're doing this thing. From a sincere heart, you're doing this thing. It's not like, I'll give you a prayer point. I want you to intentionally learn how to pray. Please take note of this prayer point. Stop praying for car. Stop praying for the good things of life. Pray this one prayer. Father, give me a good heart. If God blesses you with a good heart, there's nothing you will not get in this world. Nothing. Nothing. There is nothing you will not get in this world. If God gives you a good heart, if God gives you a pliable heart, if God gives you a sacrificial heart, if God gives you a heart that can easily be touched, if God gives you a heart that is easily moved, if God gives you a heart that can easily cry, that heart is the foundation of your height. Your heart too is the foundation of your height. How far you go is how much that is contained in your heart. The way your heart is what is going to place where you are going to. How far you will go, how high you will go, is in how deep your heart is. If your heart is shallow, you are going nowhere. If your heart is deep, you are going too far in height. If you're not easily broken, you're not easily remorseful, you're not easily repentant, you're not easily touched, you're not easy to be kind, you're not easy to be grateful, you're not easily touched, it's a big challenge. No matter the oil we pour on you, a big challenge. You're not meek, you're not humble. It will be hard. It will be very hard. That lady who gave me a gift today, when she gave me that gift, it's not even about the gift, it was the thing she said, and she meant it. I gave them an illustration. I said, this is how you know somebody owns a thing. The person will stay with it for a long time. How you know a person does not have a thing is that you will not see that thing the person does in a matter of time. It will fizzle. So I gave them an illustration. If this hanky is mine, you always see it in my hand. Or if this phone is mine, you always see it in my hand. If you see phone in my hand, and you don't see it again, check, the owner has collected it. But if you see this phone in my hand, consistently, know it is my phone. But if you see it once in a while, it belongs to somebody else. Any life you try to act that is not yours will be reviewed if you can't reproduce or duplicate that lifestyle consistently. It's not your lifestyle. You are only emotional, you are acting a script. So when the weather changes, you change with it. It's not yet your thing. Ask God to plant that virtue in you, let it be yours. You see how the Bible puts in 1 Peter? It says, if these things are yours, it will make you to not be barren or fruitful in the knowledge of our Lord. That means what cures barrenness and cures unfruitfulness in life is the virtues you've added to your faith, and the knowledge you've added to your virtues, and the perseverance you've added, and the diligence you've added. All the things that 1 Peter chapter whatever enumerated that you should add to your faith, patience, or to your faith you should add virtue, to your virtue you should add knowledge, to your knowledge you should add patience, to your patience you add perseverance, to your this you should add this. All those things are the things the Bible says if you have them in you, it will make you neither to be barren nor fruitful. If you see a man who is unfruitful, check, there are things he lacks. You see, there are things he lacks. Your response to problems can reveal to a person that, wow, this person does not have an entitlement mentality. This person is a giver. A giver is not who has money. A giver is someone who has the nature of giving. Even when he lacks, he's giving. He doesn't need to have to give. His nature is a giver. So he must always find something to give. That is what makes a man a giver. It's not because he has money. You never hear from the mouth of a giver, I don't have. He will always find something to give, even if it is his last. And watch those people, they never lack. I'm an example of one of such person. You won't know how money is coming. You won't know how God is helping you. But you will just see that somehow God is sustaining you. Because it's not something you're pretending and a giver. It's a nature that even when the sin is not there, you are still that person. 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 Giving is more about the nature than the action. Giving is more about who you are than what you have. It's more about who you are than what you give. Anyway, we come back to the story of Boaz and Ruth. How did Ruth marry the richest man? You are a young lady, you want to get married to a good man. See the secret. You are a young man, you want to get married to a good man. See the secret. You are an artisan, you are an employee, you are whoever. You want to get the heart of your boss. You want to win the favor of your client. See the secret. The secret is not competence or knowledge. The secret is virtues. Virtue is the foundation for a man's success. It's the foundation for success. Once virtue is lost, even if you have knowledge and competence, you can't sustain because it's the foundation. You can build a building without foundation. It may start for 1 or 2 days. When you blow, it will collapse. Once there's foundation, anything beats the house. It stands because the structure is laid or established on a solid rock, on solid foundation. Virtue is the foundation of a man. I know what is destroying a boy. I know the spirit. To ransack, destroy finances, destroy. I know what is destroying people. It's not just about a boy. But this place, I know the problem. So, let's look at the life of Ruth. Maybe we should open the book of Ruth. Is it chapter 1 or so? See how that woman stumbled into what she stumbled into. If you hear this one and you apply it, you will now see. You will come back and you will tell me, sir, what could I have done without you? Yeah. Let's read from verse 1. Just listen, pay attention to the virtue of this woman and how it changed her story. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land. You see, there can be famine in the land. Some are crying there's hunger, others will be crying there's no hunger. There was famine in the land, and a certain man of Bethel, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, watch. And the name of his wife, Naomi. And the name of his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. Now watch. The tragedy struck in verse 3. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died. Watch how this woman begins to lose everything. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her 2 sons. And they took them wives of the woman of Moab. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other was Ruth. And they dwelt there about 10 years. So the man who married Naomi died. The 2 sons of Naomi now took wives, Orpah and Ruth. Watch verse 5. And Mahlon and Chilion died also. See the kind of thing happening to Naomi. Husband is dead, the 2 sons are now dead. Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them. And the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband. That means the husband was gone, 2 sons gone. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law. Who are the daughters-in-law? Ruth and who? Orpah. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country to Moab. For she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord had visited his people in giving them bread. So this land where I am, maybe the problem is this place. I've lost my husband, lost my 2 sons, and I've heard that there are good things happening in my own land, in the place they married me from. So let me go back to my own people. It seems nothing is favoring me here. That was what Naomi said. Look at what, look at this. Verse 7. Wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, this is the interesting part. Watch this. You want to get successful, but you must be faithful. You want to be promoted, you must be faithful. Those of you who join a ministry like this one, and you're acting how you want to act, you're doing that to your own peril. There are people who are blessed extremely in life, not by degree, not by paper. You are looking at the wrong thing. That thing does not bless a man. You are looking at your skill and ability. That thing does not establish a man. What establishes a man is faithfulness. And I can show you many scriptures to prove that. What blesses people is that God finds them faithful. Watch. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, go, return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, as they have dealt with the dead and with me. You should go back. Verse 9. The Lord grant you that you may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. 2 of them cried, oh, Pastor, 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 Pastor. Verse 10. Your tears is not enough. Hypocrisy can hide under tears. Pretense can hide under tears. Fakeness can hide under tears. Leave that thing, doesn't work. It's not that the person cried and rolled on the ground that means. Watch action, watch behavior, watch character, watch, is this person faithful? That's the way you know if the person really means business with you. It's not what the person says to you. Look at the tears the person cries. See the next thing. Verse 10. And they said unto her, surely we will return with thee unto thy people. So that they said it doesn't mean is the truth. the Bible didn't say Ruth said. The Bible said they said. That means both of them said the same thing. So if somebody told you, see sir, if I leave you, let me die by train accident. Let me die by helicopter crash. Sir, if I ever hurt you, let termite eat me alive. It doesn't mean anything, sir. And they said unto her, surely we will return thee unto thy people. And Naomi said, turn, my daughters, why will you go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husbands? The ones I gave you are dead. Are there any one I'm going to give you again? So what is there to follow me for? Turn again, my daughters, go your way. See, second thing she said. For I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have a husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would you now tarry for them till they have grown? So even if you are thinking I will have sons, look, I'm old. But let me even assume that God shows you mercy and gives me fresh womb. And I can now have a new husband, and the man can get me pregnant, and I can now give birth to 2 new children. Are you just going to wait for them to grow and marry them? At what age would that be? There is no reason the woman did not give them to make them turn back. But be watching. Would you tarry for them till they have grown? Would you stay for them from having husbands? That means, will you starve yourself from having men who can marry you now that you guys are still fresh? How will you leave the men who are going to be coming? Because now you are widows. Your husbands are dead. You cannot choose to marry again if you want to. That's what I'm asking you guys to go. Are you going to starve yourself from having husbands when you can have them now because you want to wait for my own to grow? No, my daughters, for it grieves me so much for your sakes that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. And they lifted up their voice, and they were taken. And Abah kissed her mother-in-law. See how the Bible put it. And Abah kissed her mother-in-law. Oh, Pastor! Too many kisses, but still betrayed the man. Judas sold his master with a kiss. We are not moved by your kisses. Pastor, I love you, ma. No, leave that in. You may just be selling the man for 30 pieces of silver behind him, and you are claiming. Let's review some things. Abah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. Ruth stuck unto her. She clave unto her. And she said, behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people. You see what Abah did? Is that she came and threw her hands around the mother-in-law. Mama, we miss you. I miss you. What can I do without you? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I am finished. And she's going back home. She kissed him, we miss you, ma. She's going back home. How can I do without you, Mama? We die. She's going back home. And this is who was saying, Pastor, I'm coming, but they are going. Pastor, I'm with you, but it's a lie. She is going back. Look at Ruth's attitude. The Bible said, and Naomi said to her, behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. You, return you after your sister-in-law. Or I follow your sister-in-law. I'm going. The summer she has left. Join her and start going. What are you still here doing? Now look at the Ruth statement. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave you, or to return from following after you. From where you go, I will go. And where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. That's the kind of people you need in your life. That's the kind of people God needs in his life. That's the kind of people every pastor prays for. That's the kind of people every ministry looks out for. While one is taking U-turn and going back and crying with tears and making all the whatever emotional expression, this one is affirming her position to stay, to follow, and will not leave. You see that place you're going, I will go there. That your people will be my people. That your God will be my God. You know, she did not stop there. Look at some very hot things she said, some very scary things she said again. Verse 17. He said, when you die, I will die. And then will I be buried. I went to a particular international British school in Benue State. The best. It's not even like one of the very best, number one. The man who founded that school is dead now. The wife is the one in charge of the whole whatever. When I got there, we talked, we had great time together. When we finished talking, one of the woman's staff who was in the office with us said, Rev, if you can see behind the window there, that's where they buried the proprietor, the man who died. I met the man face to face one time when he was alive. Then after some months he died, he passed on. He said that's where they buried him. He now turned to the woman and said, I wish Reverend could go to see the tomb. The woman was like, oh, if he has the time. I said, don't worry, when I come back next time. And the woman made a statement that cringed me, and I cried hearing that. He said, my husband said, any day I die, don't bury me in my mansion at home. Don't bury me in my mansion in the village. Bury me in the school. It is so that any day any student here misbehave, take them to my grave and show them, see the man who paid the price for this thing. I fell away. If you see how cold held me, he said, bury them here. See, any day any of these students begin to lose purpose and lose direction, because that school is a purpose-driven school. What they raise their leaders, they don't just raise students. If you go there, there was one she even told me, that's how they are raising best in every field. So my reading, piloting in US, so my US army, so my British army, Nigerians, then some other kind of institutions. If you see what they are trailblazers, you see there are some stubborn guys, if they did a thing, take them back there and let's show them my tomb and tell them, because of this man, why not change? Anyway, Ruth said, that place you die, I will die there. That place you're going to be buried, bury me there. That's why I want to be buried. He said, the Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. What that means? The Lord punish me and deal mercilessly with me if anything except death part ways, or make me and you part ways. It's like if anything except death closing between us, may God deal with me so. What level of covenant relationship is this? When there's no reason to follow a person, when there's no convenience following a person, when there's nothing to even read following a person. The woman is aged, she's dying, you're still young, go and find your life. You turn your life away following an old person who has no future again. She's going to the throne. You still have a future ahead of you. Why are you following this old woman? To that extent, somebody showed faithfulness. There are things God sees that shocks him. There are some things God sees people do. It shocks him. And then he will vow on his integrity that the human being can do this thing. I will lavish on you. Every time. I will lavish on you. God fears unfaithful people. Doesn't matter what your reason for unfaithfulness is. My pastor is bad. My pastor did that. He did that one. This will happen. God is afraid of you. Because Saul was also a bad king. I'm not a bad pastor anyway. But you see, Saul was a bad king. But watch the extent David followed in submission, even when he had the opportunity to kill his enemy. Because Saul wanted to kill David. And then he had the opportunity to kill this same guy who was looking for him to destroy. And he said, God forbid. Somebody suggested, come and kill your enemy. He's here for you to roast him alive. He said, no, touch the prophet of God. Touch God's anointed. He said, how can I do that and not die? How can I do that and not be guilty? God will kill me. Yet that's the man you have flown different times from his javelin. You knew he was trying to kill you. He was not trying to experiment something. He was not trying to test something. Wait, let me check something. If this thing is sharp. He's not trying to check whether everything is sharp. He wants to kill you. How much more the one that doesn't have, he's not looking for you to kill. He wants to make you. He wants to build you, yet you can't follow him. You see why God will look at some people like that and end them, even before they reach, end them. God sees a man who is faithful and loyal to a man who wants to kill him. He says, this one, fire, lift him, kingship, defend his throne. That's the throne Jesus will come from. That tribe of David, that lineage of David. Put Jesus through. Let him come from there and die for the world. God honored him. For what? For faithfulness. Anyway, let me close on this note because and Ruth said, okay, I've read that. Verse 18, when she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left speaking unto her. So the two went until they came to Bethlehem, and it came to pass when they were come to Bethlehem that all the city was moved about them, and they said, is this Naomi? You see, if you read the next chapter, you will see how Ruth finally ended up marrying that richest man in that city. See what is even interesting? You can read about the book of Ruth. There's no book of Abah. That's what faithfulness does. It enlists you in the archives of history. Unfaithfulness deletes you from the archive. Nobody would find your name. Just like you can't find the book of Judas rather. You can find the book of Peter. There's a book of James. There's a book of John. Those apostles. There's a book of Luke. There's a book of Matthew. Show me the book of Judas. That's what unfaithfulness does to people. This is the biggest satanic trap against your destiny. If you fight it with your life, nothing is impossible for you to achieve in this world. No height will be hard for you to reach. When what you say align with your action, God watches you over time. He's taking you up. No devil can pull you down. Nothing any man does to get you down can even work. Can we see what Ruth chapter? I think that should be Ruth chapter 2. Let's find how Ruth finally married. We didn't hear that Abah found a husband again, no. Because then where is the record? Where is the record? We didn't hear that Abah got married to that man she finally went to, maybe her former lover. Let me go and meet my former lover. We didn't hear the story. We didn't see it in the Bible. But Ruth's life and story and journey was captured all through. We didn't hear anything about Abah again. Unfaithfulness deletes your history. Unfaithfulness deletes your story. Unfaithfulness deletes. If you see what this thing has done to people in ministries, people that would have been great, they came in, played with the gift God gave them, played with the man God gave them as pastor, played with the church, played with everything. Yeah, God deleted them. God deleted them. Now some of my designs, this my graphics guy is doing. When I saw it today, I nodded my head. All I could say was, Lord, help some of my people to be even sensitive. And some of you who should go and declare fast and say, Father, show me what you're doing with my pastor. And show me what you're doing with this ministry that my eyes can't see physically. Show me in the spirit. Because if he shows you in the spirit, what will happen is you will not allow the devil cheat you. There are many who will cheat. And he has been doing that. That's his profession. You see, God didn't give Adam and Eve a garden. Satan came there and collected it, cheated them. You see, you will not cheat. The first man God made, you were born. This one was not born. This one came out of God direct. Satan got him. Is he him? He that thinketh he knows anything should know he doesn't know anything. You better sit down and begin to learn and humble yourself in meekness and ask God to help you. If not, this journey can end too soon for you. There are many more countries that they are already putting this thing up for. This one, when they sent it to me, I looked at it and I nodded my face. I said, only if my people know that these are doors of nations opening for them. Only if they know. History is repeating itself again. The way it happened with the Pastor Chris, the way it happened with Pastor David, the way it happened with all the great ministry, history again is repeating itself. The funny thing is that people can see God transiting a mandate into a next level and still miss out of what he's doing. They will use their own leg and walk out of the aircraft God brought them to pilot them to their destiny. They will use their own leg and walk out. Sometimes it's even friends the devil will use to get you to walk out of that thing. When you finish walking out, you know what will happen? The friends who led you out will leave you. They will leave you. Then tomorrow you begin to say, I know Pastor Prince, I know Preston Hills, I know that church. What is going on? You were blind. That's why you never knew what was going on. You were blind. You see, destiny privileges, never play light on them. Privileges you will have to access a man, it is crystal clear whether Satan likes or not. There's something about God that has rubbed off on this man. God has made this man his apple, his special project. This is not just a pastor. And the truth is that they appear once in a blue moon. Sometimes in their generation is only one. You won't find two Pastor Chris sometimes in a generation. You won't find two Pastor David in his. You won't find two Pastor Bishop Odebo. You won't find two. You won't find there are some special breeds like that. When you meet some of them, you know they are in a class of their own. You won't find two Reverend Abah in this generation. The issue is that some people meet such men, you know what they do? They play light on them. Watch all those people who met Pastor Chris and took him serious. See where they are today. Watch them. Till tomorrow, with the fact they have even stayed together for all those years. Till tomorrow, when Pastor Chris comes in, there's this holy reference they have for him. You see the way they even, when the man is preaching, the way everybody is looking, the way they are writing. Play with your pastor, lose your pasture. Just play with your pastor, lose your pasture. You watch their attitude of response when their pastor or their father is ministering, or when he's instructing them, when he's saying something. Watch their attitude. You will see clearly that these guys understand something that carnal people don't know. You can't know a man in the flesh and go far. You can't. All these right people are not writing. It's part of it we're talking about. You can't. We will have to start putting screens here and play people some things to watch intentionally, and there's an attitude that people who value the anointing and the anointed must possess. You can't be casual around this thing and receive an impartation from it. It's impossible. There's no anointing you treat casually that impacts you. Not at all. There's no grace you treat casually that can raise you. It's not possible. The same thing for business. Those people who I went to speak to, you see that lady who is just seen everywhere, millionaire. You see the kind of businesses, what they are closing in real estate, pacing everywhere. She can't sit down one place, pacing everywhere. Just that I gave her my complimentary card alone, she has lied down. Complimentary card. Yeah, on the ground. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And that person will be asking, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? This one is saying, who am I? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Is it because I came to your meeting? Who are you? The key to your attitude is your attitude. When attitude is wrong, attitude is far in view. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? She was rolling. Who am I? For just a complimentary card. And it's not like she asked for it. I just saw some things that were right. I said, we need to keep in touch. That's my card. Take it. She fell. And to her, I felt like God has given me. Do you know how you withdraw something of great value? Should I tell you how? Put great value on it. If you don't place great value on a thing, you can't withdraw any value out of it. Anything you commonize will never bring value to you. Anything you cheapen will never bring great value to you. At all. Okay. Who has found the verse where Ruth finally, God blessed? I think it's verse 2, chapter 2. Watch this. Verse 1. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of wealth. Are you seeing that? It didn't say a mighty man in words. A mighty man of what? Of wealth. This guy was a billionaire in his time. Of the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth, the Moabite, said unto her, let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find grace. And she said unto her, go, my daughter. So this one came with Naomi to the city where Naomi is from. And instead of staying idle and just watching the old woman, she decides to go and volunteer in somebody's work. It can be ministry in this context. She decides to go and volunteer and then begins to serve. Maybe in the course of serving, I could find grace and favor. And she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers, and her harp was so light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz, who was of the kindred of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem, and said unto the reapers, the Lord be with you. That's a greeting, good afternoon or good whatever. And they answered him, the Lord bless thee. Watch something very interesting. He said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, whose damsel is that? Whose damsel is that? There are other people doing work or working. Who is that one? Who is that particular one? When grace finds you, it singles you out. When God's anointing locates you, it takes you from the rest of the people. The one who will favor you will locate you. It has to be on you. It's not you that is doing it. It's that God found faithfulness and he commissioned somebody. I said, this one is my own. Favor her cause. Favor his cause. If you like, go and do makeup. It's not makeup. If you like, go and buy new dress. People can still pass you with your fine dress. But when there is grace on you, and this grace is not what you get by prayer, it's what you get by attitude. See what unlocks it, humility. Let us therefore come now boldly to the throne of grace, where we may find help and obtain whatever in time of need. You see, the attitude with which to come. You say, let's come humbly. It's humility. When you come before God or come before authority and you are proud, you resist you. Bible says God resisted what? The proud. And he does what? He does what? He gives grace to the humble. Only the humble is qualified for grace. Proud people don't enjoy it. They can't enjoy it. They can't even have it. They can't even have it one bit. Another key for grace is meekness. You see, gratitude. You see, service. Then see, sacrificial life. This one was not looking for what to go and make money. She was looking for, what can I do to help this man doing this work have some rest of mind? How can I supply my ability, supply my skills? I don't want to stay idle. Let me go and find something and do. As I come to church, Father, please show me where can I help my pastor? Lord, where can I help you? There must be a spot, no matter how little. See, whose damsel is this? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, it is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came and had continued even from the morning until now. This one came and met the chief servant, not even the boss, just met the one the boss put in charge of the reapers. I said, please, can I just walk from can I just walk? Let me just help the people who are reaping this thing and harvest what I can harvest with you guys. She didn't discuss salary, she didn't discuss, Pastor, how much will you pay me? You see why some of those people will come and play and then they are waiting for urgent 1K. You see, when I look at them, I say, you don't know your Bible. Go and read your Bible. See the principles that help people. Apply it if you see how you can get things. So the servant was the one answering. He said, and the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, it is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray you, that is, I beg you, I plead with you. Let me walk and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came and had continued even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the house. So she has only tarried a little in the house. The rest of the day she has been working. Others have gone home. She's still working. Of course, it will take that level of exceptional service and exceptional sacrifice to be noticed. If you will do what everybody is doing, you want to be lost so everybody is lost. But if you will step a little further from what everybody is doing and go the extra mile, church has dismissed. Yes, we know. Everybody is going home. You're joining them and going. Thank you for coming to church. Those ones who go the extra mile, they want to know what is left undone before they close the gates and go. Those are the ones. Those ones who don't just come for their Thursday service, Sunday service, and go home. Some is even Sunday service. Thursday service, I am not involved in that. Their Thursday thing. It's only Sunday I know. Those ones who go the extra mile, they don't just do Sunday and Thursday. They are available every other day. They are looking for what they can do to perfect on what we are doing. Those are the ones that God actually will notice. Now look at the response of my friend. And she said, okay. Then she said, Boaz unto Ruth, hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maidens. Let thy eyes be on the field that they do reap, and go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men that they shall not touch thee? And when thou art thirsty, go unto the vessels and drink of that which the young men have drawn. The favor has started though. Ruth, please, let it not just be once. Can you just be part of my maidens? Be part of the people who walk with me. Come closer. Don't worry, none of these men will touch you. They will not come around you. I've given them a standing order. Anytime you are thirsty, you see that special vessel where they go to drink, you too go there and drink, okay? You said the Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward be given thee of the Lord, of the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings thou art come to trust. Then she said, let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord. What kind of woman being is this? What kind of girl is this? Okwifundi Gen Z. You are going nowhere until you reshape. I'm doing a conference titled Gen Z Conference, and the theme is reshape. You're going nowhere. I was telling somebody this morning, I think it was Chemaka, I said, I've noticed something about this Gen Z generation. They don't answer to their greeting. It's good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The way they send me that kind of message, you know how I respond back to them? Good evening, ma. Or I will add, good evening, sir. You know what I do? I make an open fool of you. And some of you, then I send them video. You know what they do? They will just highlight like on it. On WhatsApp. They just press like and they've gone. They are too quick. Steez, you know, they don't have time. They cannot say, wow, sir, thank you for this video. They are too busy to type. They have things to upload on status, so there's no time to type. We are busy with our status and we don't have things to waste time with. They just give you a love emoji and walk away. Are you seeing the real Gen Z here? Are you seeing Ruth's behavior? What did she say? Then she said, let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord. She didn't even say, sir, is my Lord. For that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thy handmaid. Do I be not like unto one of thy handmaidens? I am not like any of these ones. They are much better. But still you find me worthy to be your friend. You've spoken friendly with me. Oh God. And Boaz said unto her, at meal time, come hither and eat of the bread, and dip thy muzzle in the vinegar. This is somebody who said, drink water where the servants are drinking. When this woman poured the right compliment, he said, wow, meet me in the dining. Okay. My wisdom is too priceless. And the issue is that I make it so simple to understand. But still, so people will never get anywhere with their life. They'll still be the same people they are. You're wondering, why? Is it that God has given them to reprobate mind? Why are they not understanding the thing? They said drink water. The lady appreciated just water. Water is what she's making all those grammar for. Water. Others will say, so now water I come here, come drink. Now water I leave everything for house, come drink. So now chair when I come this church, come back. Now sweep when I come here, come sweep. Every time I read. You are delisting yourself from destiny. You are delisting yourself from God's goodness. The things that pay in this kingdom, if you know, the things that pay. You think it's preaching. The day a pastor will give me mic, I will shock everybody. God will be shocked at you. So it's mic you're looking for. He will be shocked at you. Some of you see pastor doing maybe videos online, or he's doing YouTube, he's doing Facebook, talking. You too, you go and jump, carry camera, and put in front of you, and start doing your video, and start sharing on your own status. That's a fool. He thinks his pastor is his competitor. He doesn't know his job is to take the same message. God gave the word. Many were the multitude of company that published it. The same word God gave. Put on your status. When I see people like that, they are always putting their own thing. The word of God from their house, from their church, is not their concern. They are not putting it out there. I mark them. And you just use status, and the status will run like 30 slides. You didn't see one thing that points to the message you posted. Not one thing that points to Facebook. So I'm saying, if they will view your this on Facebook, you will see one comment. You are all here, sitting down here. God is watching your heart. Let's not get this thing twisted. God is watching your heart. He knows what is in your heart. You will watch the video, get your inspiration, but you will never say thank you, sir. You will never say a thing. You will never express how grateful you are for that wisdom shared. God is watching. And you may say, is it just comment that God is watching? He watches down to the very little things like that. He looks at your like. He looks at your comments. He sees how you copy and put it on your status. He watches it. He knows this person is true, is real. No, let me ask you. The way some of you treat the wealth of wisdom that flows from your church, by not sharing, by not viewing, by not posting on status, let me ask you sincerely, if you were running a business and you had staffs doing that thing you do to God, how will you feel? Let's start by telling ourselves the truth. There is no room for hypocrisy in this world. Principles unmark you. Let's just tell ourselves the truth. I watch on your status. I see you. Ask yourself the truth. If it is you now who is running something that needs promotion, that needs to be out there for people to be blessed, and the people who are working under you don't post it up there, they don't put it out there, how will you feel? Won't you feel, this person is claiming he loves me, this person is claiming he believes in my vision, this person claims he believes in my dream, yet he can't put the things I'm doing out there? How will you feel? Even me, people who I went to consult for, watch, I'll go consult for them. They don't even tell me. I will use my social media platform and write. I was the speaker at so and so place for so and so thing. What I saw there, it wowed my mind. These guys, I imagine this and that. You see me put something up on Facebook and I will share it. Yet it's not even my brand. Now some of you will be impacted, messages will come, you will hear, you can't even birthday, I watched Facebook, you know, see some people will not go and put it on Facebook. I want to celebrate this man. This is who he is to me. See the things I've learned from him. His messages, but when you see Femi Lazarus, boom, when you see Orobo, boom, when you see Kislo Konko, boom, you put them. You put their quotes. Yet on my Facebook are many quotes, short quotes. You can go and screenshot and line them up on your status. And you think God is not watching you? You watch this thing. Some of you know the truth is that you came to use God. Or you even came to use a church. You came to use a church. You know you came to use your pastor. You know you didn't come to serve. There's something you're looking for. And there are many people like that. You don't prove to your church that you are part of it by what you say. It's by what you show. By what you do. We will watch it consistently. We will know this person, this is it. This is it. The person is not after advertising himself or advertising herself. No. That person is outside too. That person is out to advertise God's work, advertise the ministry. Where can I help? How can I help? You see how you advertise everything your brother is selling. It's not because that is important to you. Every time I'm on your status, if it's not somebody wearing pullover, it's somebody wearing singlet, it's somebody wearing short knicker, and you always write, have you bought from us today? Have you patronized us today? Because that is what is value to you. Can God become similar value? Can your pastor become similar value? Because you can't tell me you are not putting something out there. We are watching it. We watch it. We follow it. The things that you may not know, I see it, but I see it. Some are coming to come and learn from me so they can go and shine in their own place. They are not coming to come and help the work grow. I know it. I know what is happening. They may be saying, wow, 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 as service is going. The wow is not, sir, I've now learned something I can help to help this work. It is, wow, I've now gotten something, I'll go and start my own thing out there. I know them. And you know the thing is that you watch, they can't even do anything with the things they have learned because the motive is wrong. God starts frustrating what they are doing. Some don't watch my videos because they want to learn, to apply here. They are watching because the next morning they want to also go and do their video. You know how to put all those whatever there. We are looking for the one you are putting that speaks of church, that speaks of this work. You see, I love Christ Embassy leadership system. They don't care about themselves. They care about the increase. They don't care about their thing. They care about their mandate. They can give their all to see that one succeed. See that fire that burned that church. It was not a threat to them. All the money they need, they've provided it. Over 100 billion has been raised since that fire incident. It's just coming in like that. And they will quietly build it. You will not even see on Facebook until they will just quietly build it. If you want to threaten them, they will just use picture and finish you. Let's sit down. We're too equal to the task. We can't go down. That's the kind of army we need here. Don't you think so? Kind of army we need here. People who are real. That I can come to church and be lost inside this church. People will be looking for who is the senior pastor. You can't tell who it is because everybody acts like senior pastor. Everybody behaves like they are this my vision. This one she comes to church, she's angry that why have these ones not come? Where are you people safe? You don't come and sit down somewhere and be saying, I don't know why they are even coming. No, you take like your pastor will do. You start taking responsibility. You invite souls the way he will invite them. Because this is not about, it's not how I'm just sitting in the church. This is my responsibility. That is the character that makes God find you with his grace. And Boaz said unto her, at meal time, come thou hither and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he reached her parched corn. And she did eat, and was sufficed, and left. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, let her glean even among the sheaves, and reproach her not. There are many things you can look out, read on your own. But at the end of the day, the lady finally married the man. You even see that some of the things that led to Ruth's marriage with that man, it was Naomi that orchestrated some things. There was some advice that Naomi gave her on how to relate with that man. If it is some ladies in this generation, you won't see them anywhere close to pastor again. You won't see them anywhere close to church again. They have found their sugar rush. So they will start rushing away. But Boaz showed interest in Ruth. Ruth went back to her mentor called Naomi and said, Ma, or sir, how do I go about this thing? Some of you will start saying, service will soon finish. We are ending by 11, but pastors usually have workers meeting. That will end by 3. So you can go and do anything you want to do. But once it's 3, I want to see your car at Murphy filling station. Just move towards Murphy small. Move towards Murphy. When you get towards Murphy, just flash me. Then I'll pretend that I'm going out to pee. Then we'll meet there and we can map it from there. Then the lady will practice that hide and seek. After some time, she's no longer available. One guy has confused her. The next thing you're seeing is social media pre-wedding pictures. From pre-wedding pictures, they have married. You don't know how. After 2 years, the lady is back to your service. And then she comes to see pastor at the end of the service. Pastor, it has happened. What happened? I didn't know the man had a wife in South Africa. The wife came back and see my head. Blood and water and oil is coming out of it. All the anointing you put on my head those days are now coming out. You need to go and listen to people's stories. What happened to people who are unfaithful? the end is usually very terrible. This is how I wrap up on this. What is your commitment to God? What is your commitment to this church? What is your commitment to your pastor? Is he active or is he passive? Is it a commitment that is laissez-faire, fair weather commitment, or is it deep-rooted commitment? In thin and in thick, you are there. If something is dying somewhere, you are here. If something is failing, you are here. Something is hurting you somewhere, you are still available. Is that the kind of commitment you have? Or is it a laissez-faire commitment? When it is favorable, you are there. When it's not favorable, you have jumped out. What is your level of commitment? Is it an upper kind of commitment? Sentimental commitment? Emotional? Maybe you come to church and they play keyboard so well. You just be, I love you, Jesus. Then, when keyboardists don't come to church and the worship leader is struggling to sing, you just be looking at this. You are not committed. Or will you lift up your voice and lift up your hands, whether there's a keyboardist or not? We will worship, we will praise, we will dance, we will be excited, we will win souls. Is your commitment the type that when your father in the Lord smiles at you, you rush to Facebook? I never see any man like this in my life. The way this man loves me, the way I love him, the way I can die for him. Then you post. Then the day he now gives you bulala, wires you, tells you you are rubbish, you are an experiment that has failed, and says all kinds of things to you. Then you rush back to the Facebook and press the delete button and delete everything you once wrote about him. Then you come to service the next day, you look at him. It's emotional based commitment, it's sentimental commitment, it's not real. You know, if the commitment is real, even if Naomi sends you packing, you will carry your bag and follow her. Even if Naomi says, I don't have any other son to give you, I'm old, there's nothing to benefit following me. Madam, pastor, is still you, I know. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Where you die is where I want to die. The day I die and I'm buried is where you are buried, I want to be buried. Do you guys now see why I don't do cheap relationship? Why, if I have only 3 people in my space that are that die-hard followers, who are sincerely truthful. I've searched inside and out and I've seen element of, okay, I'm still searching. No, it's not like I've ended the search. But once I notice this laissez-faire attitude that is emotional and not really deep-rooted, I begin to retreat. Because this heart of mine is too real to be broken. I know what I've suffered in the hands of people. And some people, you can't break their hearts. I hope you know that. Mine is easily broken. I'm praying for some of the kind of heart some of you have. Nobody can break your heart. No matter what they do, you are still fine. They break it, you are fine. In fact, they can't break. It's stainless plates. You can't break. Stainless rubber, stainless plate. They take the heart, drop it, you just hear bang, nothing breaks. You can take it and put it back. Me, my own. You don't need to even hit it hard. If you just throw it, everything scatters. The truth is that kind people always suffer heartbreak. They are the ones that have very, very pliable hearts. Unkind people, wicked people, insensitive people, heartless people. Don't befriend them. Because you can be crying in your house, they'll be singing to Araya Mama and washing plate. Nothing will touch them. They'll be fine, they'll be okay, they'll be doing well. Have I made sense here? What is the dimension, the centimeter, the diameter, the meter, the depth, the height, the length, and the breadth of your commitment? Is it rooted or is it fair weather? I'm traveling tomorrow after service. When I leave, what will you do? I'm disappearing from you guys. The next time you will see me might be somewhere end of September or October. What will you guys do? To your tent, to Israel. The chariot of Israel has taken our father. Everybody can now go. Yes, transited. What are we doing here again? So the next Sunday, another person stands here and is preaching. This one those sweets. He said, what will you do? I knew it. When Pastor traveled, things will not be the same again. Abah. How can you be that negative? For some of you, it's public holiday for 1 month, 2 months. Public holiday. You can now move, wings will now grow. You can fly like butterfly. Where are you going to, Leke Bange. You can fly anywhere you want now. Go to Ezra if you want. Go to Onweke. Go to your village. Stay 1 week. You see the talent, the parable of talent. The man who traveled and gave his servants talent. One of them he gave 1 talent. That one went and buried his talent. When the master came back, did you see how infuriated he was? But the other 2 were wise. They knew this time our Papa is not around is when we have to be wise, we have to be sensible, we have to be productive, we have to be involved, we have to make profit. We cannot give an excuse. We can't come and tell story. It's now we must sit up. It's now we must go back to his tapes. And all those things he said before his departure, all those things he's been saying for years, it's now we have to fall back to the messages. It's now we have to foster unity. It's now we have to foster a spirit of coherence. It's now we have to foster a spirit of love and teamwork amongst us. It's now we have to look out for one another. All our brothers, all our sisters, we have to go for them and make sure everybody is at home. Nothing hurts a father like coming back home and seeing the home scattered. He wants to come and see everyone at home. That ovation he receives, daddy, 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 and he sees that all the children are intact. Who is that wise and faithful servant that when his master leaves the house, he takes charge of not just the affairs of that house, but he also takes charge of the people put in his trust or put in their trust, because I'm talking to every one of you now as leaders. He takes charge of he makes sure that no one is found missing. Not just that, he also takes charge of the growth of that family. That more people, my dad should come back and meet more sons, more children, more people. That's the essence of giving that talent. Go and trade with it. So I gave you 5, add more 5. Let the team multiply. I gave you 2, add more 2. Let the team multiply. The one that went and played his talent was the one who did nothing all through the man's absence. I want to come back and ask, how many souls did you win? What did you do to move this work forward? Whether it's the building, whether it's the project, whether it's the department you belong, whether it's the souls or whatever, financially or whatever. What did you do? Did your tithes keep coming, or did it stop coming? Because after all, the one who calls for tithe is not pastor, so I'm not going there. I don't know that his prayer will even work. You're not going to go and pay the tithe or give the offering because it is pastor or whatever. It's a principle. This is how we function here. It's about keeping this business going. The business of the kingdom. When you stop coming for midweek service, if you have been praying in my presence, it will be a taboo to pray in my absence. You should be more serious when I'm not there. I hope you know it was when Jesus ascended, disciples became more serious. When he was with them, they were eating. Sometimes they will even eat and they forget to wash hands. Pharisees will see them and say, come, Jesus, come. Where's the disciples? They will eat bread and they don't wash their hand. These guys eat bread, they don't wash hand. What's going on? Another time, these people were eating. They go to Jesus and say, come. You see, every time these guys are feasting, they are eating. Anytime, anywhere you are, is food, they are eating. Jesus told them, so don't worry. I'm with them now, so they can eat. When I go, they will see. No worry. Some of you, when you start feasting, instead of fasting, instead of walking, instead of paying the price, when I leave, this is going to be more serious. When you go and stay in your house or travel to Imo State or where, or go to Enugu, go to Abia, go to Afibo, go to Lagos, go anywhere you want to go to. Then when it is now 3 days to my coming, you'll be looking for Facebook updates. wow, he's coming back, it's close. Oh. And then you check, 3 days to go, and he to appear. And then the day I arrive, you will also join me and say, Pastor, welcome, we love you. I will give you power, because I will be getting report of who is available and who is not available. Watch me. You know I can get reports. The things that you will even know I've gotten the report. I will have it in my hand. I have people here who tell me things. Oh. I have people who tell me things here. I have spy girls, I have spy boys who give me your feedback. Even if I'm too busy, I will ask about you. Where is this guy? They will tell me. I'll say, okay. Like even one who has taken over and gone to Lagos. Where is that guy? See what happened. Okay, I'll keep quiet. I won't talk. I'll just be watching. I get feedback. In closing, this is my appeal to every one of you. That which you have heard me say in time past, the things that I have said unto you, that you were heard in the midst of brethren, please remind yourselves of them. Commit it to your life. Commit to the application of those things. And also be committed faithfully to remind others also. Surprise me in this my absence. Surprise me. Bring glory to God and bring a merry heart to me. Give me reasons to be grateful to God that I pastored you. Give me reasons to be grateful to God. Let it be church explosion, exponential growth explosion when in my absence, not just when I come back. From this tomorrow, as I step out, let the work begin. Come together, have meetings as often as you want, decide what to do, plan. How do we get more souls this Sunday? And when they call for people to come out and do it, please don't be a discouragement to those who come out. Come out yourself and be a support to the system. Sacrifice this season. Sacrifice money. Sacrifice time. Sacrifice yourself. Sacrifice your everything. Sacrifice whatever you can sacrifice. This is not time to look at time and be saying, oh, we are taking time. No, this time is for sacrifice. Sacrifice your skills, your talent, your ability. Sacrifice everything you can to move the work forward. Look at the size of this auditorium. Become conscious about filling it up. Don't be satisfied when you come to church and you have a few spread in the service. Become that responsible son that carries burden. Every time I meet you, I know there's burden, and it's burden for the right thing. Burden for expansion. This, we have to grow. And don't just say I have burden. How we know is that you always do something about what you have burden for. What you do tells me the burden you have. If you say you have burden, you do nothing about it, it's a lie. You don't have any burden. Your burden will always show in your actions. I give an assignment tonight when you go home. Sit down and ponder on all the things you've heard. Take your pen and paper, write clearly in it, and you will submit it to me tomorrow morning. Every one of you, write it in a paper. What will I do? What I will do to deepen my commitment to this mandate and to my pastor. Conscious things. Write it. Because you need to be sure of what you are doing. You need to know what you are doing. It's not just to hear me and go home. Write it. Have a copy for yourself. Have a copy for me. Bring my own copy to me. Duplicate. Write it in 2 papers. Keep one for yourself and bring one for me. And write your name on it. Then every day, remind yourself of the things you have written. Look at that paper. That paper becomes a guidepost. That paper becomes like, it becomes like a radar, a compass leading you. When you look at it, you remember, I made this commitment. I wrote this commitment and I gave it to my pastor. This is my word given to my pastor. This is my promise given to God. I can't break this promise. Strengthen areas of weaknesses amongst you. Strengthen areas of incompetence. Develop more skills. Develop your ability. Strengthen areas of weaknesses. Don't carry weakness and be running helter-skelter. Sit down and work on your weaknesses. If it's laziness, work on it. If you're the type who is easily tired, work on it. If it's easy for you to give up, work on it. Second assignment. Of course, you're giving me this one tomorrow morning. Please, every day, sit down with at least one tape that I've preached, that is uploaded. Sit down with one message. Either it's a video or an audio. Every day, sit down with one. There are many to sustain you even from now to a lifetime. Sit down with one. Every day. It will keep you in alignment with the vision. You will constantly be reminded of the things I've been saying before I left here. I'm going to pray for some leaders tomorrow, especially. There are some people I'm going to pray for. And I'm going to do some necessary handovers tomorrow and show who does what, how, when, and all that. Of course, I'll pray for every other person in the service tomorrow. But if there are people I'm going to say, this person does this on my behalf, this person does this on my behalf, this person does this on my behalf, please know that you're listening to them, obeying them, and you're supporting them is part of supporting and honoring me. Because I've put my delegated authority on them, and they have to stand in certain positions on my behalf. If you say because it's not pastor, we are not going to hear, you are disobeying me. If you say it's because it's not pastor, we are not going to go to a service, you are disobeying me. Tomorrow morning I'll do that before I go. Of course, there is going to be an order that will guide everything. Even in my absence, you'll be having programs. There are some key people who will come to minister here in one or two of those programs. Some programs will be 2 days, maybe some will be 3 days, can be 4 days, Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In those programs, please participate and get people to participate. Because in this my absence, most of those guests that will be coming, if they come and they see that you are out of order, they will laugh at you. They will laugh at us. But if they come and they see that their father is not around, and these people are mature to organize themselves like this, they are mature to bring all these people in here. And they are mature to be this well-dressed, well-organized. Things are moving. Even the moderator is so sound and mature. The way he even introduced me up, the way they are doing things. No breakdown in sound, no breakdown in gender. The music people are working well. Everything. Your respect will be so high. They won't treat you like you are children. They will see you as adults, as men and women who have the ability to represent their father. They won't play with you guys. They are not coming because maybe there's something I can do that they can do I cannot do, or whatever, or because I feel that I'm not around, so they should come and cover for me. No, they're not coming to cover for me. They're only coming to add spice to the work. Some of them I've told them, please, in my absence, you will come and do 1 or 2 things. Maybe one day come and preach this one day. But you have people here who will also do that too. Because it's a long trip. So there will be activities to guide all the weeks and all that. Make all your Thursday services powerful. Make all your Sunday services powerful. By first, attendance. A service is powerful to the extent that you can attend it. Don't just say, okay, I'm not chance, so others should go and do it. No, sir. Attend services and come early. Finally, this is how I close. Acts chapter 2, verse 42. This is the sign of an apostolic church, a corporate apostolic church. These are the signs of a mature church, a church that is truly mature, that is apostolic in nature. And I want to see these things functioning here, even in my absence. Look at this. Verse 42. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine. So, one of the signs of the apostolic church is that the brethren are committed to the apostles' teaching. That's their pastors' teachings. The apostles' doctrine is apostles' teaching. It's one of the marks of an apostolic church. So, you may not be hearing me physically, when I travel, but you can listen to me through my messages, my audios and my videos. Commitment to your apostles' doctrine. Commit to the messages. Commit to going back to your notes and reading them. Read what your pastor taught you, apply them. Another one is also commitment to the Word of God, the Bible. That's one of the signs of an apostolic church, because of course what I teach you is biblical. So you commit to my teaching, you commit to the Word of God. So they continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship. Another sign, number 2 sign of an apostolic church, of a healthy church, is commitment to fellowship. A healthy church commits to the apostles' doctrine or pastor's doctrine and to the Word of God. Number 2, a healthy church commits to fellowship. You don't break fellowship, Thursday fellowship, Sunday fellowship. You don't also break house fellowship. You will even see it somewhere there. But this one now, fellowship, gathering in the temple. Alright? You say, and in breaking of bread. That is communion. Number 3 sign of the apostolic church and a healthy church is commitment to communion. Communion by way of breaking bread and drinking the wine, which is the representation of the blood of Jesus. And aside that, communion in terms of fellowship in the Spirit. Okay. And also, number 4, commitment to prayers. He added there, and in prayers. So whenever you come here, there must be constant prayer offer to God. Constant prayer. Get back to the bulletins that I shared some time ago and pull those prayer points out again. And every time people come here, there should be heavy prayer. Everybody participate, even if your body doesn't feel like praying. Pray. These are commitments. These are not passive things. They are active. They are commitments. The Bible says, and they steadfastly continued. They committed. If you feel like it before you do it, you will never do it. I'm not talking here and talking because I feel like it. Do you know how many days? This whole year, I don't know, this year has been a traveling year for me. I've not had 1 week where I sat down on the stretch. Not even a whole day. It's either I'm traveling here or I'm going to talk there or I've not this whole week. Look at since after Sunday service, Monday I'm on the move again. Tuesday I'm on the road heading to another place. Came back on Thursday. I'm on the move again. 3 days of training. Now I'm back here. I've not had sleep in this my eyes. Tomorrow now I'll be here to minister. After ministry, I'm on the move to Enugu again. And then I'm on the move from the airport to Abuja. I'm on the move to the embassy again. On Wednesday, I'm on the move again to a country. From that country, on the move again to another country. Commit to prayer. And one important prayer, commit to praying for your man of God. Commitment to praying kingdom prayers. Pray for your man of God. Pray for his family. Pray for the church. Pray for the brethren. If I were you, once this tape is uploaded tonight, go back and listen to the things I said here. Commitment to prayer. This whole work will be safeguarded by your prayers. Don't come and be boasting, we will now show that we can do it. Pastor is not around. No. Commitment to prayer. Your shepherd is not going to be around. You will sustain this whole work by your commitment to prayer. Because you think Satan will not be looking ahead. Let's see what we can do now that he's not around. If you are smart, you spend time on your own in your house, in your closet, commitment to prayer for this man of God, for this mandate. I don't care what you express as, Pastor, I love you. If you don't pray for me, you don't love me. If you don't pray for this church, you don't love me. If you don't pray for the kingdom, you don't pray for God's people, you don't love me. Just leave that your love is fake love. One indices of love for your church and for your pastor is commitment to prayer. If you see every time Paul was asking for prayer, it was to show you how important it is to them that you pray for them. You always pray that God will open a door of utterance for us. Check, have you prayed for me this year up to 2 times? Some of you not even once in your life you've prayed for me. Yet you claim you enjoy my company. Yet you claim you're a member of the church. How can you love a thing and not pray for it? Commitment to prayers. Number 5, apostolic sign. The Bible says in verse 43, and fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. So there's always outbreak of signs and wonders, miracles, healings, the supernatural. Do you know, I may not even be here with you guys, but some of the people who will mount here to do anything I assign them to do, the power of God will hit here. You see this period, all through, no seminar, explosions of the power of God. One day's long seminar, every service have to carry a wave of the miraculous, has to carry a wave of the power of God, has to carry a wave of the supernatural, of healings, of testimonies, of signs and wonders. The supernatural is an indices for church explosion when you employ it in your ministry. If you know you are leading prayer, the power of God is hitting everywhere. You're not just leading that dead prayer. No. Is leading prophetic prayers, scripture-based prayers, declarative prayers. That's how to pray this time. So just come on, open your mouth and pray. Declare. And watch out for what you declare happen. Is to release prophetic statements, release prophetic, everywhere must be hot. People who come to church, sit. Don't come and say, pastor is not around. No, he's around. His spirit is here. Anything you do in the anointing that operates in this house, it will work in people's lives. Let me even say, I just heard the Lord said to me to tell some of you. You see, on serious people who are not serious in their life, please treat them people who have coronavirus. Somehow quarantine them. And face people who are serious in your life. There's a particular guy I just remembered now. That guy with one kind of bassy voice. Where is the guy? Let the guy live with his confusion, please. I'm serious. Please. After a while, maybe the confusion will be dealt with. Just leave him. Those people sap energy. Leave them alone. I know what I'm saying. You don't need people who have confusion. You need people who are willing and obedient. Leave people who have confusion. I'm your coach here. I'm your spiritual father. I know the value of souls. You don't know more than me. Leave him alone. I just got that reminder. I don't know what you're discussing with that other guy. I saw it on your phone. I'm a very smart guy. What message are you guys sharing together? This other one, that black guy that stays there. Oh, you didn't even notice I saw something. There's a message on your WhatsApp that I saw. I didn't read the message, but I saw there was a message. Either you sent him or he replied or something. You see, people who are always at discord with God, discord with brethren, discord with the church, be mindful of them. Face people who are out to serve God. Leave inspector generals of police alone. Leave them alone. They will wreck your ministry. All the souls that are out there that are willing, you can go and win. It's people who you know are not willing. They are idiots who are supposed to go and meet their ancestors. You are going to post. Leave them alone where they are. When they hit the rock, they will know what they've done to themselves. The people to go for are people whose hearts are easy to touch. Which confusion is there again? You know, see that Satan is grabbing somebody's head. Which confusion is there again? A vision as clear as this? Somebody will come and talk to you. You will jump in. Another person will come and talk to you from church. You will come in. When you are going out of the gate, well, you don't have direction. Why should I be dragging you up and down? Then some of you now make such people your friends. You will have accidents in destiny. Have you seen me and people who I relate with, friends in ministry, are people who are loyal, people who are faithful, people who are following somebody, even if they don't know where they are going to. They can't see the way ahead though. But they know this person is going forward. They just follow. They can't see the way ahead. They can't even see the destination ahead, but they know if we follow this one, we will go somewhere. They just follow. Do you know how many people are doing well in Nigeria in ministry that I could have followed? Why have I not been confused? Today, Pastor David Willis, your father, church, the Lord told me Bishop Oedebo is the higher calling now. Then I'm going to Bishop Oedebo. The name chair is the one. Oh Lord, it is now Biomi. Biomi shared houses for some people. That man, that's the man to follow now. Have you seen me acting that kind of confusion? How will you follow me and end well if you follow a man who does not know his roots? Cut out from people who cannot follow a thing. Even that place they have gone to, they will not stay. Give them time, you will see it. You will see how they will wither. What did Reverend Tom, what happened to him that made him follow a man for close to 40 years now? What happened to him? Do you know that's also had confusion? Why were these ones not confused? The confusion of people is personal to them. It's not the pastor's problem. It's not the church's problem. It's personal to them. Don't ever pursue people like that. If not, you begin to get confused yourself. The church does not have a problem. There's no church people don't live anyways. The church doesn't have a problem. The pastor doesn't have a problem. It is you who has confusion. You cannot disciple confused people. You deliver them. If they can't be delivered, forget them. And spread your net wide and catch more fishes that are willing. Don't go and stay with one person and say you are discipling somebody who doesn't want deliverance. I know what I'm saying. Yeah, people, no matter what you do in a church, you can't impress them more. No matter what you do, they will never be satisfied. I had one lady like that here. She jumped from one church, jumped in here, boah. She didn't stay long, boah. She has gone to Advance. I said, this thing is a spirit. She didn't stay long, boah. She has gone to DC. She didn't stay long, boah. She has gone to Makodi, Aromel side. One day when the devil had perfected his plan, he made her sit on one Okada. So he collected the girl and killed her on the road. You see, people who don't have maturity to stay with a thing, no matter what looks flashy out there. When the year is happening there, they put head. The year is happening here, they put head. You see that spirit, he wants to destroy you. Today, one man of God now come and start prophesying to you. I see you do big things. I see you do great things. You know, I want to take you to a dimension. You have planted virus. If Satan could confuse Adam, is it you? The same God that was coming to meet you in fellowship, you will see him every morning. You now hear his footsteps. Not that you see him, you heard his footsteps. You ran and went and covered yourself with leaves. You know when God finally entered and asked, Adam, where are you? You know what he said? He said, we heard your footsteps in the wilderness, in the garden, and then we ran and hid ourselves because we are naked. Eh? Do you know the question God asked them? God did not ask them, why did you remove your clothes? That should be the right question. Why did you remove your clothes? The question was, who told you you are naked? Because Adam, your nakedness would never manifest if you don't submit your ear to the wrong voice. Who told you? You heard something. Who told you that nonsense? Those of you who want to follow a church based on people's opinion, you're not going to stay for any church. Let me announce it to you clearly. If you watch that video, I post that video of my training, the last session. One of the guys picked the mic when I finished. Do you know what he did? The first statement he made was like, Jesus. He says, sir, how do I thank you? He says, sir, my heart is rented. There are things I want to say. I now know and I can now confirm why it is bad to judge a person from the distance. I now know. Because I didn't know this was you. I now know. Listen, if you want to follow a man based on what do people say I am, you're not going to stay for any church, even if God is a pastor. Satan blasphemed, discredited, and assassinated the name of God before Adam. Is it me? Is it church? Is it Prissy Hills? Which church is free from his attack? All are under attack. The earlier you mature and mean business with God for yourself, the better for you. If not, you will jump from church to church and jump into hell. Yes, now. So you're coming from Prison Hills then. Where are you coming from? Prison Hills. Hey, hi, this girl, this guy said, hi. Don't worry, they will confuse your head. You will now enter Rock on the house. When you enter Rock on the house and you come from where are you coming from? Rock on the house. Hey, of all churches, Nadia. Hey, they are quiet. All of them, if you, in your job, you enter Embassy of Christ. When you enter Embassy of Christ, as you're coming out, where you come from? Hey, now, God forbid me, Christ Embassy, go there and do what? That church where the pastor divorced his wife. Have you not heard the story about the divorce and all that? The same place where you have heard story, people stay there. And still walking the walk. And still planting churches. And still planting cells. Why is it you who is so impulsive, emotional, every time? Confused human being. When you see him and you want to have make sure him, tell him he's a fool. Tell him the thing I'm telling you now. All these things. Why is he only you? Why is he only you? Every time they put sawdust in your hand, you will start, you see, you should even look at yourself in the mirror and say, so me, I not get stability. I can't be planted in a place. We don't follow people because they are good. We follow people because we are faithful. Because they are good. We follow because we are faithful. God knew that Saul had a problem. Yet David was under him. And God didn't say to David, leave Saul. God didn't say to David, kill Saul. God was watching David. Let me see what he will do with his bad leader. If David had raised a hand and touched Saul, do you know God received attention from David, from Saul, and put his attention on David. So David, you are this bad. He is not Saul again. You have not heard that a man called Moses disobeyed God. Not by striking rock, by marrying a woman from a place God said they shouldn't marry from. He married from Ethiopia, a Cushite. And God gave a stern law, no Israelite should marry from there. Yet Moses went and married from there. And this woman is married, he's not the first wife. He has a first wife he left somewhere to go and redeem people. He has now found one woman somewhere and now married. He has an original wife. And then legitimately Miriam and Aaron say, what kind of pastor is this? How can you marry a second wife? And of all places, you went and now married the one, our holy God of Israel. The I am that I am, that is not Kokoyam. How can he do this to my father, my father? God, when will you avenge your church? When will you wipe out all these fake prophets? God will be watching you. Did I make you a judge? Did I appoint you to do this job? Is that your job? And they spoke against Moses. Do you know, Moses was not the way they spoke. God heard it. And God came to Moses and said, Moses, you don't reach as they reach. Meet me for mountain. He said, what is happening again? Who has committed this time? He said, meet me there. And he went to Miriam and Aaron. God didn't say to Moses, go and call Miriam and Aaron. God went to them. Remember what they said. Does Moses hear from God alone? Don't you also hear from him? And God confirmed that their statement was true by going to them and saying, Aaron, Miriam, let's meet here. So God also speaks to them. But you know what? When they appeared at the mountain, God said to Miriam and Aaron, you see my servant Moses, when I want to speak to him, I sit down, he sits down, and we speak face to face. So you may have access to my voice, but not access to my face. They say, why I deal with Moses, I don't deal with you guys. Know the difference. He said, who gives you authority to speak in the manner you spoke about my servant Moses? Moses went one side and said, what is going on here? Miriam, when I talk about me, God, did you say anything about me? Moses, hold it. You guys should answer. Moses would have said, hey, so wow, human being safe. I didn't even know they were talking about me. But God will always watch over his angel. He will always hear for him. You may not come to his presence. You may not come to the presence of pastor and say all those nonsense you normally say, or whatever you hear out there and all. But God is jealous about his servants. He will watch over them. And you may not tell them, oh, look at what this your song said. But God will always deal. He will always deal with such people. And you know what fell on Miriam that day? Leprosy. And you know that Aaron was derobed of his priesthood for doing what they did against Moses. This is the confusion a lot of people have. Hearsay. Which church you won't go? You won't hear. Satan entered the church of God in the Garden of Eden and spoke against God himself. Then it's me who wants to do the work of God with everything in me. You say the devil will not fight. Are you joking or what? We have too many sentimental Christians, especially in Igbo land. Too much sentiment. Yorubas died to sentiment in ministry. That's why they have explosive. They die to that thing. Yoruba, yeah. Talk what you want to talk. They'll look at you. Benny. They'll look at you and say, Kilode. Any other thing? If you have nothing to say, I took my leave. You will see them back in the sanctuary, walking with double-edged commitments. But here, watch the Igbo guy. It's too emotional. Too emotional. Watch the Igbo girl come to church. The pastor is preaching. Watch the Igbo guy. That's why mushroom warehouse churches everywhere in the East. Yoruba, point your finger. It's one finger you point, they will give you waka. And they will face their works squarely. Call them any name you want to call them. When it comes to followership, they are foolish. And it's that foolish followership that is giving them crazy results. Crazy. I don't know, but I got that information in the spirit too. You see people like that who cause division. Talkatives. Talk people. You see such people? Avoid them. Passive members in your church who come to church and sit down. And there's too much playing in their brain. I'm confused. Every time they're confused, they're asking too many questions. Leave them alone. You can never satisfy such a fellow. Leave them alone. And find people who are foolish. People who their only commitment is God. How do we make it happen? In spite of all odds, how do we make it happen? When you start having people like that in your space, the work is easier. The work is easier. There are materials I would recommend to you guys. You see Discipleship Codes book. Please, if you've not gotten it, get it. How many of you have Discipleship Codes? One of the days, 2 days or so, you're going to have review of the book here. Every member and worker of this church needs that book, Discipleship Codes, the part 1 and the part 2. Then even if you don't get the whole material of that Herald News, at least you need selections from those materials. One of it is titled Those Who Accuse You. Another one is titled Loyalty and Disloyalty. You see, these things are the cankerworms that really fight the ministry. A pastor can be good, can be honest, can mean well. If his members are not trained against the weapons of the enemy, the weapons that he uses, accusation, character assassination, image degradation, reputational damage is the weapon of the devil. He knows once he assassinates a man's character, he diminishes his impact. Let me tell you how it works. Watch this. Let me give you an example. I and this lady became so close. Watch this example. And then we had carnal knowledge of each other and all that. Watch this. And while having the carnal knowledge, this guy walks into the room and sees Juliana and Pastor. And I told him, Emmanuel, it is well with you. It will be hard for Emmanuel to be blessed by that word. Hello? Because of the frame of his heart at that moment. Now watch. The same me, if I walk out from Emmanuel's presence and meet a total stranger who has never met me before, and I turn to him, I say, can I prophesy to you as a servant of God? I see a contract you submitted on the table of the governor 2 weeks ago and declaring that in the next 1 week you'll be called. The guy will lie on his ground. If that guy was Emmanuel or had the same experience Emmanuel had, it would be hard for that statement to bless him. So you know what the devil does with accusation and does with character assassination. He knows that once a heart has been poisoned, the blessing cannot land. So the man has blessing, the empowerment, everything to lift you. But he will find news, he will find things that he will find things that will poison your heart, so that when he speaks the blessing to you, the poison will resist it. But watch the same man. If he speaks to another person who does not have poison in his heart, the same words he declared will bring the miracle. So know that this is a weapon. The devil does not use this power because the man of God actually did something wrong. He uses accusations of brethren as a strategy to stop the brethren from accepting their miracles. You think he's against the man? He's against the people. So how do you fight it? Is to protect your ear. Is to protect your eye. Is to protect your mouth. You see the gates of your life, protect it. You notice sometimes when it comes to some issues that even bothers with you guys, how many of you have ever heard that I came spying upon you? Who is this one's boyfriend? Who is that one? Even if I preach against, no, you don't need that. See the implication of it. It will destroy you and blah, blah, blah. I preach against it. But you will not see me commit myself. I want to know what patience. Because if my heart towards patience change, I can't impact the girl again. Because of the way I'm now seeing her. You know when the Bible says, henceforth we know no man after the flesh. You know what it's saying? If you know people in the flesh, you can't be a blessing to them. You have to know people based on the position they have in Christ. If you don't have that position in your mind, you know what you do? Everyone you meet who says to you, that's how that guy is. I don't know why the Lord led me in this direction. I don't know why. Go on YouTube and watch. Even Papa Oyedepo with all his right standing, with how much he preaches against unrighteousness. People are after him. Papa Kuruyi, the same thing. You will be so shocked that the most holy preacher in the world is also a victim of this accusation thing. There's in me. Old men, oh, you know these men are old. Nothing can ever make them backslide again. They have served God all these years. They've seen everything. So what is there? Me who is young, is it me that they will not attack? Watch your ears, what it hears. Watch your mouth, what it says. Watch your eyes, what it sees. That's where confusion starts. All this is confused. That's the only confusion. There's no other confusion. And most times, even people who speak against God, speak against the servant, are doing so from a place of envy. It's not because the man did anything bad. It's envy. Why should you be his son? Do you know my Father in the Lord, the people who envy him? Hey? Even inside the same church. Do you even know friends who come around him, who just sit around him and they claim that they are friends? But when they evaluate his results and evaluate their own results, they are angry. Do you know people who are pained by these trips I'm embarking on? Do you think everybody's happy? People who are aware, who may have gotten wind, do you think everybody's happy? Do you know even you who is down here? Do I even know if you're happy? Or are you sick? Don't bind Satan. That's how he behaves. The thing is paining him. I've exposed his secret. So he wants to get me to the ground, but he doesn't know I have stamina. And God got my back. Amen. Have I said anything useful here? I know some of you here, in your mind, you have concluded we have had our Sunday service. It's when I don't see you tomorrow in church. You will know how God will punish you. I will hand you over to Satan. He will deal with you. I said, we have had Sunday service finished, so what is there again to have tomorrow? Service has not finished. Tomorrow we're still going to be here by 8. I know I didn't finish showing you the signs of the apostolic church, but if you read through, you will see it. You will see it. Please, just a minute. I need to finish those signs. Where did I stop so I can close? Signs and wonders, right? 44 says, and all that believe were together. So unity is another sign. They were together. Unity of purpose, unity of mind, unity of, everything. They had all things in common. So every one of them share what they have to ensure that nobody is in lack. It's another sign. Number what now? Number 7 now. They sold their possessions and goods and parted them to all men, as every man had need. So they were generous. Another sign of the apostolic church is generosity. And they, continuing daily with one accord in the temple, you see, they always attended services. They continued. It's a consistent thing. In one accord in the temple and breaking bread from house to house. So one of the signs of the apostolic church is that they are committed to self-fellowship. Small group. Last time we talked about small group. How many of you have obeyed that instruction to start a small group? How many of you have obeyed it? Where God blesses you last is your last obedience. Where God blesses you last is your last obedience. They did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God. So one of the signs of the apostolic church is that they eat together, they feast together, they marry together, they do things like that together. So another thing is praising God. So there's a lot of praises that goes on, singing, a lot of rejoicing, a lot of worship that goes on, and having favor with all the people. So you see, the repercussion of doing all these things is that you begin to have outbreaks of favor amongst the people in your community, in your city. Once you are a joyful, happy church, you are easy to attract favor of growth and all that. Of course, you see it in the next one. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. One of the signs of an apostolic church is that they are a growing church. Numerically, their numbers grow. And that happens via the instrument of soul winning. So an apostolic church is committed to soul winning, to fishing men. They're committed to the great commission of Jesus.
We believe you've been transformed by the wonders of God's Word. For additional information about us, you can visit our website at www.princetonhills.org. You can also send us a mail at info@princetonhills.org or call 070-331-66762 or 081-31-555-747. Princeton Hills Ministries, raising global leaders.